Alien! Yes, guys, it is about that time to tackle on this franchise leading up to Alien Covenant, which is coming out next month. I've been wanting to talk about these movies for a very long time. I will talk about its goods and its downflaws with this later film, but we'll get to that later. But there's no better way to start it off with reviewing these movies with Ridley Scott's 1979's masterpiece, Alien. Alien is definitely a classic when it comes to cinema. I mean, there's no comparing with Alien. I mean, if you haven't seen Alien, where have you been? Alien is a masterpiece of cinema. This is definitely one of my favorite movies of all time. Not only that, one of the best horror movies in the past 50 years. That's how good Alien is. And it started the sci-fi horror trend that people copied along the way after Alien came out. And it's pretty sad that none of those movies are as great as this movie, as Alien. And I just love how this movie this entire movie, the filmmaking with Ridley Scott, it was just the screenplay was just A+ right there. I mean, I watched this movie last night. I watched it with no lights on, with my phone off. Watched this movie at night, lights off, to get the full like atmosphere of just like this movie with the alien, with the xenomorph, just blending in with the environment, just camouflaging everywhere throughout the ship. It's actually that's the best way to watch this movie. Just at night, no lights on, just watch it, and you'll get like this weird, this creepy vibe from this movie, and that's what makes Alien work. That this movie is very creepy and it gets under your skin. Unlike most horror movies nowadays, which is pretty sad. First off, I just love the opening title sequence. Just how it just fades in. Just the title, the letters, words for Alien. Just the way how it just fades in. You already know what this tone of this movie gonna be. Very creepy. It's very slow paced. And just give you like this vibe. This weird, creepy vibe that you're gonna get from this movie. And I also just love the cinematography. Is fantastic. I love the cinematography in this movie. It's just how it's slow paced on the ship that the crew are in, and I just love how it's also just slow camera work inside the ship. See all the different rooms. Then we cut to our main crew. We see the main characters coming from waking up from their sleep, and I just love how you see like this camera panning all towards the group that when you're eating your food, talking. The camera work in this movie is my biggest plus for this movie. Not the xenomorph, which it is. That definitely is. Not some of the characters. Not some of the lines. The effects. It's the cinematography. The cinematography is outstanding. And I know every film buff, everybody in film school just talks and talks about cinematography and just the camera work in those movies. Just, oh my god, that's amazing. It's amazing. So the crew encountered the derelict ship, which has so many of these alien-like eggs, which Kane then encounters one that opens up, then boom, the face hugger just pops up on his astronaut helmet, and then the acid just went through the helmet, just launches onto its face, and then the thing just shoots out blood acid. How cool is that? Then they eventually take off the face hugger from his face, then boom, there it is, the chest burster scene, the most iconic scene in this entire movie, the scene that everybody who talked about Alien brings up a lot, the chest burster scene. And that scene alone is definitely an iconic scene. And just the way that blood spurts out, no CGI, none of that mess, real practical effects right there. And then 5 to 10 minutes later after that scene, we have a full-grown xenomorph. And man, I gotta say, those things grow pretty fast. Let's talk about the Xenomorph, one of the most iconic villains in sci-fi history and film history. This thing, this alien, this creature is so terrifying and one of the most terrifying creatures in cinema history. I mean, this thing, I can see why this thing gives people nightmares, and I can see why people are afraid of aliens because of this movie and because of this creature. The design of this xenomorph is just so frightening, so scary. How this has this long head thing and it has no eyes. It's completely black and it blends into an environment in the ship and just camouflages. That's how it can easily sneak up and just kill these guys in so many different ways. The thing has 2 mouths. It opens up its mouth and boom, you're dead, you're gone. And like I said, the thing blends into an environment. And like I said, it blends in very well in the ship. How the ship is just very dark and he just blended very well. Almost like he can camouflage. This thing can basically camouflage. Yeah, I don't want to be any near this creature. I just don't. I just love how this movie just builds up suspense and just scares. And this movie just adds to the creep value. And just watching it, it just makes me just figure like, is a xenomorph around me? Since I said I watched it with no lights on, and so I watched this movie at night in the dark in my room, and I was looking around me like, oh, there's a xenomorph around me, they're gonna get me or something. I was like, no, it's just a movie, but still it gets me thinking like, oh, yeah, it's better, like I said, it's better to watch it that way. But like I said, the movie doesn't really rely on a lot of jump scares like a lot of movies nowadays, but when it does, it scared me. Especially with this scene when the xenomorph killed off Dallas off screen. And again, with the effects in this movie, this holds up almost 38 years later. This movie's almost 40 years old, my god. The effects, especially in this movie where the crew find out that Ash is a cyborg. He's a robot. When Parker knocks out his head, a white blood comes out of his body, his head comes off, and just practical effects right there. You see Ian Holm, Ash talking with nobody, his head talking. That scene alone just proved that this movie still holds up 38 years later. And nothing can compare to that, especially with movies we have nowadays, especially with the movies I love now, like Civil War and all the other stuff. It doesn't compare to practical effects like we see in this. Everybody except for Ripley is killed off by the xenomorph, and now it is Ripley, the only survivor on the ship, the only person on the ship that can just take down the xenomorph and just kill it once and for all. And this shows that now she is the hero in this movie. She is the protagonist. Now she had to face off against this alien. And this shows that she is a B.A. One of the first female B.A. in cinema history. I mean, my god. Sigourney Weaver knocked it out of the park in this movie. This movie just defined and boosted up her career. I mean, she faced off against the xenomorph. I just love the final act of her just grabbing Jonesy, killing the xenomorph, and just getting out of Dodge. She is just trying to survive. She don't want to be killed by like her other crewmates. She just wanted to get out of here and just survive and kill the xenomorph. And the last 10 minutes, where she blows up the other ship and she's in the shuttle, and she thinks that the xenomorph is dead, but no, the xenomorph is in the same shuttle as she in. So she gets into the closet, puts on the astronaut suit, that is behind her. Then she evacuates out of space, and she finally defeats the xenomorph once and for all. Not only is Alien one of the best sci-fi films and one of the best horror films, it is one of the best movies ever made. I mean, you can't get any better than Alien. It is definitely one of my favorite films of all time. Watching the movie last night, just studying it. This is definitely one of those movies that we go to film school, and this is definitely, they just play this movie in film class and just to study how great this movie is. Just, this movie's phenomenal. It's a masterpiece. I love it. Loved every second of it. Just love Alien. Love it. And of course, Alien most definitely gets an A+. This is going to be a fun series of reviews. I can tell. I can't wait to talk about the rest of the movies. But thank you so much for watching, guys. If you hate Alien, or if you haven't seen Alien, that's all I gotta say to you. That's all I gotta say to you. But if you have seen Alien, let me know what you think of it in the comment section down below. As always, guys, if you are new to my channel, you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.